What is it that the Lord has said concerning your child? And so it is your part, your responsibility as a parent to be able to instill that faith into your child so that they can be able to carry the plans and the purposes of God even as they become adults and transition from our homes to, live their own lives and be able to become everything that God desires for them. Let's look at how the gifts and the talents that God has given our children, how they enable the calling or the bent for particular children. And so I remember one time, I come from home and just started working at, the Christian ministry that we are working at. And it used to be a very tedious job. I would come home, I'm so tired. And so one time I get home, it was on school holidays, and my daughter, maybe 6 now at that time, comes and tells me that she has made an invention. And I was so interested. I was, so psyched, and I was so happy to get home. And so she took me to the kitchen and she showed me this invention that she had made. She had mixed some tea leaves and I don't know, spices and different things that she could, find in the kitchen. And she tells me this is an antivirus. Wow. I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a scientist in the house. And so we moved to the sitting room or the sitting area, and she tells me that this antivirus is going to cure HIV/AIDS, and it's also an antivirus for computers. Oops. That's when I knew we are in fantasy world, and I was like, my dreams were shattered. But on a serious note, so I thought I need to encourage her, into biology and, things that will lead her to become a scientist. And so one time she had a cat, and, I'm hoping if she's going to be a scientist, the sight of blood is part of the job. It's part of the, gift and talents that, God has given. So you see blood, if you're a doctor or scientist, you're just thinking, maybe I need to check whether there are viruses there or whatever it is that scientists do. And she was vomiting. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And so she comes and she tells me, I'm very sorry to disappoint you, mommy, but I cannot be a doctor. The sight of blood, now we know even the sight of vomit, just the sight of a sick person makes her so sick that there's no way she's going to be a doctor. And over many years, she tried many things as she was growing up. One time she wanted to be the greatest swimmer in the world, and we invested a bit of time into that, and she swam for about 2-3 years, and she discovered something else. And so just to say that there are natural giftings, natural talents that God has put in each and every one of our children, and our part as parents is to spend time with our children to be able to see and identify what are these gifts and talents. So you have 2 children, and maybe they love drawing, and to say that it's not even intelligence that is required, it's the voice of God that is required for you to be able to identify what is that gifting, what is that talent that God has naturally put in your child, and you can be able to see that when you spend time with your child. And so 2 children may be drawing, and if you listen to the voice of God, not the 2 of them may not necessarily become architects or become artists if they are drawing. And so it is your part as a parent to be able to listen to the voice of God when He's telling you that this child, their drawing is because they'll become an architect. This child, their drawing is because they'll become the greatest artist in the world or ever known to mankind. And so our part is to spend time with our children to identify what are these gifts and talents. If your child loves speaking, give them an opportunity for public speaking. Give them a purpose for that gifting that God has given them. If your children love to just be outside and playing, that they are farmers and all that, build something small, spare something small. Even if you're in an apartment setting, put maybe a crate, put soil in it, say, baby, come and plant for us something. And as you nurture that gifting in whatever situation or circumstance that you're in, then you find that you are going to encourage them to become that which God has ordained for them to be. Each and every one of us has a special gifting, has a special talent that the Lord has put in them. It could be in different measures, but all of us, we have gifts and talents that the Lord has given us. So our part as parents is to nurture those gifts and talents.